Let me ask you something. Before you trust someone with $800,000, what do you check? Their reputation, their history, their track record, whether they have delivered on their promises before. That is exactly how you must approach every regional center in EB5. Most investors jump straight to the project, the location, the asset class, the returns. But the project means nothing if the regional center running it cannot be trusted. Today we are talking purely about the RC, not the project, the organization itself. I'm Mr. EB5. Welcome to EB5 Gyan. Let's get into it. Parameter 1. USCIS approval and active status. Start with the most basic check. And do not skip it just because it seems obvious. Is this regional center currently USCIS approved and in active standing? Go directly to the USCIS website. Verify the RC appears on the active approved list. Then check the history. Has this RC ever been terminated? Ever been suspended? Ever been placed under a compliance review or audit? An RC with a clean, uninterrupted approval history is your foundation. An RC with gaps, terminations, or compliance issues in its past requires a very detailed explanation before you go any further. Parameter 2. Years in operation. How long has this RC been operating? This matters more than most investors realize. EB5 is a long cycle program. From the time you invest to the time your I-829 is approved can be 5, 7, even 10 years. You need an RC that has been through full investment cycles before. One that has seen market downturns, regulatory changes, and program disruptions, and has come out the other side intact. A regional center that launched last year has no proven cycle. That does not disqualify them, but it raises the bar significantly on everything else you need to verify. Parameter 3. Leadership and principal background. Who is actually running this regional center? Get the names of the principals, the founders, the managing partners, the key decision makers. Then research them independently. What is their professional background? How long have they been in EB5 specifically? Do they have experience in real estate, finance, or fund management beyond EB5? And ask the harder questions. Have any of these individuals ever been involved in a failed EB5 project? Any regulatory actions against them personally? Any civil or criminal history? The RC is only as credible as the people leading it. Verify the people, not just the brand. Parameter 4. Compliance and annual audit history. Under the EB5 Reform and Integrity Act of 2022, regional centers have significantly more compliance obligations than before. Annual audited financial statements, annual statements of material change, comprehensive compliance programs. Ask the RC directly. Are they current on all USCIS filings? Have they submitted all required annual reports? Are their financials independently audited, and by whom? An RC that is current, organized, and transparent about their compliance posture is an RC that takes their obligations seriously. Delays, gaps, or vague answers here are warning signs. Parameter 5. Investor repayment track record. This is one of the most revealing parameters, and most investors never ask it. Has this RC returned capital to investors before? On time? In full? Without restructuring the loan or extending the terms? An RC that has a history of returning capital as promised, on schedule, is showing you their integrity in action. An RC that has delayed repayments, extended loan periods without investor consent, or has outstanding disputes with previous investors, that is a serious red flag. Ask for a repayment history. Ask to speak with past investors if possible. If they hesitate, that tells you something too. Parameter 6. SEC or legal standing. EB5. Investments are securities, which means every RC is subject to US securities law and must be compliant with the SEC. Do 2 checks. First, search the SEC's Edgar database. Look for the RCs offering filings and verify they are properly registered. Second, search PACER, the US Federal Court Record System. Check if this RC or its principals have ever faced SEC enforcement action, investor fraud allegations, or civil lawsuits. Some of the most publicized EB5 fraud cases in history involved RCs that looked credible on the surface. This check takes 30 minutes. It could save you everything. Parameter 7. Transparency and investor communication. How does this RC communicate with its investors? Ask them directly. What updates will I receive after I invest? How often? In what format? A credible RC provides structured, regular investor reporting, quarterly updates at minimum, clear immigration milestone tracking, and access to a dedicated investor relations contact. Pay attention to how they communicate with you right now. Before you invest, are they responsive? Are their answers clear and specific? Or are they vague, delayed, and evasive? How an RC treats you before you write the check is a preview of how they will treat you after. Parameter 8. I-829 approval rate. The I-829 petition is what converts your conditional green card into permanent residency. It is the finish line of the entire EB-5 journey. Ask the RC, what is your I-829 approval rate across all past investors? An RC with a consistently high I-829 approval rate is proof that their compliance, their job creation documentation, and their overall program management actually delivers on the immigration promise. A low rate or an RC that cannot answer this question is telling you that the most important outcome of this entire process is not something they have reliably achieved. This number matters as much as anything else on this list. Let me bring it all together. When evaluating a regional center, before you look at a single project, check these 8 parameters. 1. USCIS approval and active status. 2. Years in operation and full cycle experience. 3. Leadership and principal background. 4. Compliance and annual audit history. 5. Investor repayment track record. 6. SEC and legal standing. 7. Transparency and investor communication. 8. I-829 approval rate. If an RC passes all 8, then you are ready to evaluate their project. And that is exactly what we are covering in the next episode. Save this list. Use it every single time. Because in EB-5, the most expensive mistake you can make is trusting the wrong people with the right amount of money. Drop your questions in the comments. I read every single one. And if this gave you clarity, share it with someone who is about to make this decision. That's EB-5 Gyan. Simply clear every time. I am Mr. EB-5. Know who you're trusting. Make the right move. See you in the next one.